Okay, so we'll get started. Welcome, guys, to Contaminant Hydrogeology. There's really not much to take notes on today, so you guys will be good. I'm just going to walk you guys through how we're going to do the class and how this is going to set up and look so that you guys can know what we're going to be doing this semester and how this class is going to be run. So I'm using Blackboard as our main vessel for sharing information, putting up lecture materials. I give you all of my slides. So you will always have all of my slides with you at all times. And any reading materials will be put up on here, homework assignments will be put up on here, everything will be done through Blackboard. So that's our normal avenue. So if you guys go under information, there's our syllabus, and I'll walk us through our syllabus. So the class is Monday, Wednesday, Fridays from 10 to 11. It's either going to be in this room, and it's going to be like this with me having a face shield. You guys can see the blackboard behind me, all this kind of stuff, or it'll be online, completely from my home. So it'll be either one of these two ways. The Zoom channel. So we're going to be using Zoom on Fridays, or if we're going to have anything related to this class, this is the Zoom that you will click. So if you want to have office hours with me, we're on Fridays, it's always the same Zoom login. You don't have a separate one or a different one every time, okay? I set it up as a reoccurring Zoom account. It's where if you want to have office hours with me, you'll click on that button, then we'll both go on to Zoom, okay? In there. That's where we'll have our classes, that's office meet, everything like that. Lectures, I can put them up on YouTube. I can also put them up on Blackboard using Coursera. So like I was saying before we started recording, last semester what I did was I started a YouTube channel, and I'll start a YouTube channel here. I'll put all the lectures up on YouTube. So you guys can either go on to the YouTube channel, or you guys can go on to Coursera on Blackboard here. All lectures will be recorded and uploaded, and I will do that within 24 hours. So if I'm here in the classroom with you guys, I have 24 hours to upload it. If we decide to go 100% virtual, by the time the class starts at 10 o'clock, that lecture will be uploaded at 10 o'clock. So you can watch it at the designated time. It will always be up at 10 o'clock. There will be a lecture. The way I did it over in the spring semesters, I put up 2 lectures. One lecture was like, welcome to this, this is an announcement section. And then the second one was the actual lecture material. So the lecture material was one set one. Each lecture is maximum 15 minutes, and then I would take a break, and then I would do another 15 minutes. So they're not hour-long lectures. They're in 15-minute blocks so that you can take a break. I have it all set up to do that if I do it at home. And then I upload those at 10 o'clock, and they'll be all date located so that you would just click on that date. You can watch the announcements page, and then you can watch all the lectures for that day and all homework that's associated with a folder for that day. Okay? We can do, if we're going to move to remote learning, we could have a whole discussion about if that's going to happen or not. It's up to you guys. If you guys just want to do this all completely virtual, I'm fine with that. I'm Melissa Winchesky, because you guys don't know. Go by Mel. Just call me Mel. Don't try to say my last name unless you really know how to pronounce it. It's kind of funny. Even the vice president of the university still hacks it to horribleness. On Friday, we don't have class because we're having Representative Kasten doing a meeting with the faculty online, and I'm supposed to be moderating it. So Friday there is no class because I have to moderate that. And I have to remind Jerry how to pronounce my last name because I have a feeling he would pronounce my last name horribly wrong. So that's why I just go by Mel. I prefer that. That's fine. Here's my office number, but I will never be there. Here's my cell phone number. Alyssa, I know Madison, you guys all have my cell phone. Tony, put my cell phone number into your phone. If you have a question, I have no problem because you just sending me a quick text message. I will probably get that before anything else in this world. So if you have a question about hey, is it up yet or anything, I don't mind if you guys bug me about class stuff. Homework, lecture materials. If something's not working, I usually don't know because on my side it all looks great and wonderful, but on your side it may look horrible. So I have no problem with you sending me a quick text message saying this isn't working. I can then solve the problem within minutes. So feel free to put my cell phone number into your your phones and text me with any problems. Office hours are by appointment. Again, they'll be on Zoom, so we'll just sit there and meet on Zoom, okay? What this course is about is my favorite topic in the world, which is contaminant hydrogeology. Ooh, I love pollution. Pollution is my favorite thing in this world. You can take me to a beautiful site, like the Grand Canyon or something, and I'll be like, yep, pretty. And then, but take me to a toxic waste landfill, pollution coming out. I can spend hours, days, years just hanging out there. I love pollution. I think it's fascinating and interesting. The chemistry behind it, the biology behind it, why does it happen? The social justice implications for pollution are very high. So we are going to be putting everything into a social justice component to a lot of our pollution. We're going to talk about how pollution moves and everything, but we will have discussions about how this is impacting different communities around the world. So we will be talking about the regulation side, since we have someone from the EPA here. Oh, you can. But we will talk about that too. But we're going to be talking about not just the transport, we're going to talk about different types of contamination, organic, inorganic, remediation techniques, site assessment techniques, everything. So this is what we're going to be doing over the semester. You do have to get a book, and this is the book, Contaminant Hydrogeology, Fetter's 3rd edition. You can rent it. I saw on Amazon, you can get it, like the rent version of it for like $13. This is the book. I contacted the, if I get it, I will let you guys all know. I did contact the publishers to see if I could get a PDF version of this for work I'm doing in Myanmar. If I do get it, you will get it. But I can scan anything. If you cannot afford this book, let me know. And hi.
I'm sorry. I work in the IT department, so I was just told to come. To come across, to come to one of the classes to see if everything is going on well.
Well, does this room, does it have a microphone and a webcam?
I know it has a microphone.
Where?
Sorry, can you just...
Yeah, sorry. Let me pause my recording. Eruption, but okay. So I'll go back to where we were on talking about books and stuff like that. I'm gonna take my glasses off because I'm old and I can't see the way, and so trust me, it sucks getting old. That's all I can tell you guys. Okay, so Contaminant Hydro is the referred book, and we already started talking about it. If one of you guys bought it, just try to get a copy. If you want a desk copy, I do recommend getting the 2nd edition for your own. It's a lot cheaper, and things have been updated, but it has a lot of the same information. A civil action. Now, what we're going to be talking, we're going to do a whole thing on a civil action. You're going to have to do, and I'll talk about the homework assignment, but you're going to read the book, so I recommend getting it. You guys will like it. So when I was doing my PhD, I did TCE, or trichloroethylene, for my dissertation work at Oak Ridge National Lab, and you'll hear more about it later on. Civil action is all about TCE, trichloroethylene, and pollution. How many of you guys have ever seen either one of you seen the movie?
We did it last semester, or
did we do it last semester?
One of the classes.
Okay, so you saw the movie.
Yeah.
Did you read the book?
No.
You should read the book.
Okay.
Don't cheat and watch the movie.
Oh.
The movie does not capture everything, because the book captures a lot more of the hydrogeology into it. It captures the hydrogeologist talking. It's got a lot more of that in there. So don't cheat and watch the movie, because you will miss out on a lot of it, okay? The science and a lot more of the discussions and what really happened. The movie just kind of glares over it. But read the book. What I would do is, when I was doing my PhD and a guy wanted to date me, he had to finish reading that book before he would date me, because he would then understand what I did for a living. So this was my back a long time ago. So, but you can get them online. I saw there are you can get any edition. They're like $3 online. If you really can't afford it, let me know. I've got multiple copies in my office, and you can borrow one from me. Silent Spring, I put the PDF on Blackboard already, but you can get any version of it you'd like. It doesn't really matter to me what edition you get. You can also check it out of the library. You can get it. It's a classic. We're going to also talk about social justice when we talk about this, and the roles of women when it came to pollution, and starting off this and the role of Richard Carson. So that's going to be part of our lectures. It's not just the science behind it, but also some of the social implications to it. And lastly, you all need to join the National Groundwater Association. That's this one. You do get 2 free journals for the year. You get the journal Groundwater and Groundwater Monitoring and Remediation. So here's the physical copy. You get a physical copy of Groundwater Monitoring and Remediation. And they've got great things in here. So groundwater is much more on the science side, and groundwater monitoring and remediation is much more on the applied side. So it's got great stories about how they cleaned up sites, about everything. I'm an associate editor for groundwater, so yeah, you guys are going to get the journal because it's good for you. It's actually really good. So you get it for free, so might as well do it while you guys do things for free for the students. Okay. On here, we're going to do, so this is the breakdown of your grades. This is what you guys really care about. Your homework, there'll be different homework assignments. What I'm going to do is the homework assignments will be 25% of your whole grade. So I will add up all the homework assignment points together, and then I will make it 25% of the whole points for the class. So don't think like if a homework assignment's that you get 25 points, I add them all up, all the points, and that becomes whatever percentage of that homework assignment. Say you get a 90% of all homework assignments, you will get 90% of the 25%. Does that make sense? Okay. We're going to do a journal club, and I'll talk about that in a second. If you participate, we're going to be doing it on Zoom, so you guys will have to participate. You will be doing a presentation and a review, so that's 25% of your grade. We'll talk about that in a second. There's only a final exam, so there is no midterms, there's no other exams, it's just exam week. So there'll be only one exam in this whole class. And then the prologues. So what are the prologues? I'll talk about those first. Again, there is no class this Friday. I have to do a thing with Representative Caston. He's giving a lecture at the university kind of thing, and I have to moderate it. So there is no class this Friday. What is that sound? For you all, we're hearing weird sounds here. I don't know, close the door. Push a little button. Yeah, you push the little tap thing. Okay. So I have these in order, but we're going to discuss them. I don't give you when we're going to talk about them because depends on when I feel like we're going to get done with that topic. So especially with this online kind of version, I don't have a concept of how long things will take, but this is what we'll be going over. There's no class the whole week of Thanksgiving, so that Monday and Wednesday there is no class. Don't worry about that. And the final exam will be online, and it'll be December 7th. Okay, sometime that week. What I will do is I will give you 48 hours. I will turn it on, and you have 48 hours to turn it back in. Okay, so it's very flexible that way. Starting on Wednesday, I'm going to do an introduction, types of contaminants and MCLs, and then we're going to go into a section on organic chemistry, and that's chapter 7 in this book. So there'll be obviously some homework assignments associated with that. I spend a lot of time in this class on organic chemistry, so I think Alyssa and Madison might already know some of this stuff, but it's good for you guys to hear it again. The reason I spend so much time on organic chemistry is most geologists have never taken an organic chemistry class before in their life. And because they don't have, and most pollution is organic in nature. I mean, when we look at pollution from oil and gas to chemical pollutants, they're organic in nature. And so you have to have some understanding of the way organics work. Okay, so I take it upon myself to teach organic chemistry to geologists. And it's not the organic chemistry you would learn from if you took an organic chem class, which is how to make organic molecules. So I don't know if you guys have taken an organic chem class, but you spend 99% of your time learning how to synthesize compounds. We as geologists could care less how you make the compound. What we want to know is what are the names and what does that mean, so that when someone says, because like when you go to a site, they're going to say, okay, TCE, the MCL for TCE is 5 ppb. I used a GC, and then, they're going to say all these letters. And you're going to have to know what all that means. So multi-letter acronyms, especially you guys who want to work in the industry, are just everywhere. So what I'm going to do is teach you all of the terms, like the official IPAC name, but I'm also going to show you all the names that we use in journals like groundwater monitoring and remediation. So that when you read these journals, you will know, and when you see an organic molecule, by the end of this section, you should be able to tell me, will it transport, will it remediate, what's the retardation factors, how much will it stick, and everything else. So we will go into all of that, making some predictions based upon the molecule itself. Okay? So we will go into that, like KOC, KRWs, all of that. And so go into equations and so you can make predictions on organics. Okay? So it's a very practical side of organic chemistry. We're going to go into remediation, transformation, multi-phase flow, so L-NAPLs and D-NAPLs, inorganic chemistry. We'll spend a lot of time on those because there's just so many fun ones we can talk about. So we'll spend some time talking about those. And then we're going to get into a week. We're going to talk about Woburn, so the civil action case. We're going to talk about what happened afterwards. And we're going to talk about silent spring and pesticides. Okay? You guys have a prologue due. Basically what you do is after you're done reading the book and we do these lectures and you do your own information about it, you're going to write like the book ended at this point. What really happened? So was the right people found guilty? What the implications? So you're going to write a prologue to the book knowing what you know today. Okay, so that's your homework assignment, and that's due right before final exam. So if you start reading the book now, you'll get caught up with it, okay? And then we'll talk about PFAS and other emerging contaminants. We will watch the Devil We Know. I think I put the link of that already on the Blackboard site too. The Devil We Know is a documentary on PFAS, Teflon and stuff. If you want to watch it at any time, show it to all your friends. You will all be terrified of PFAS. So exciting and so terrifying. Then we'll talk about phase 1, phase 2, no Thanksgiving, and then site remediation. Okay, and then the final exam. Homework assignments will be, it's hard to do in Word, so you can take pictures of things, you can scan them, or if you want to, you can drop them off here in the geology main office and I can pick them up. I don't care. Just let me know how you're turning in your homework assignment. I don't care how you do it to me. You can take pictures and send me pictures, you can scan it, you can physically turn it in. I'm open. I'll give you a date and just make sure I get it somehow, okay? I'm open to suggestions.
So really quick on that.
Yeah.
You can download Adobe Scan onto your phone.
There's
really
phone
nice
apps.
PDFs.
Yeah. That's what I'm assuming you guys are all going to use. So Adobe Scan is what it was. You guys, there's other apps too. There's a whole bunch of apps that change. I use them all the time. Some students don't do that. Some students don't have access to fun. So you guys all should be able to do it. Okay. Protecting the pack, you guys all have to, do what we're supposed to do. Journal articles. Okay, so what's going to happen is on the Fridays, we're going to have in-live sessions. So one of the reasons I like this, too, is like if we record something and you have a question about it, on the Friday session, at the beginning of it, if you have a question about the assignments, the lecture material or anything, we'll all be together and you can ask your questions live. Okay, so if you save them all for Friday, we're good. What we're going to do on Fridays is you guys are going to be doing journal club. So not this Friday, but the next Friday, I'm going to talk about how do we search for databases. I found out that a lot of people don't understand. A lot of them go on Google, and if you can't find it on Google as a PDF, you completely ignore this and just keep going. We don't do that. We're going to go talk about what assignments, interlibrary loans. We're going to talk about good quality journals. How do you assess all of that? And I assumed you guys all knew how to do all this, and then I found out no. And so I did this over the summer, this lecture, and did this assignment with 2 different groups over the summer, and it was great for all the students. They really learned a lot more about how journals work, how the system works. And so it moved you guys from being, I just looked on Google Scholar, and if I couldn't find it right away, I gave up, to actually doing a little bit better job. So we're going to do that. We're going to spend a day talking about that. And then on the 11th, I'm going to go over how do you actually read a journal article? How do I read a journal article? There's going to be an assignment associated with it. I'll give you guys a journal article. We're going to break it down. We're going to actually spend some quality time. Again, we make the assumption that you guys as undergrads read journal articles, and you guys are all exposed to how a journal article is constructed and written and everything like that. I'm going to break it down, and I'm going to show you guys how to do it and how to do the reviews. Okay, so we're going to walk through how do I do, because I get journals all the time. Like I said, I'm the associated editor for Groundwater. What do I do when I review an article? How do I read it? What do we do about it? How do I question the, how does this work? So I'm going to teach you guys how to do that before you guys have to do it. Okay, so instead of just throwing you guys out there and say, okay, go find journal articles and let's write a review about it, I'm actually going to walk you guys through the process. Okay, and if you already know all this stuff, you might learn something new. So I don't know everybody's background, but we do have some new grad students. Then you have a date that you are all assigned. You guys can see your dates on here. You have to give me 2 journal articles that you want the whole group to read a week before that, okay? I put Madison. I put her first just because she's the most senior of the grad students and has done this with me before. She's actually done the journal article reviews and everything, so I gave her first one because she's the most knowledgeable. So she gives 2 journal articles. If you have questions about the articles, should be related to contaminant hydrogeology. If you guys are doing a thesis, you can relate it to that. You guys are going to get free access to this journal, so you guys can just use journal articles right from the current edition of the journal if you want. So you can do whatever you want. I'm assuming if you're doing a thesis, say on colloidal transport, you will do journal articles that are related to colloidal transport. So, and then you can send them to me a week beforehand. If you're having problems, let me know. If you want help finding articles or you don't know what topic to pick, as long as it's within the broad topic of contaminant hydro, I'm fine with reading journal articles, okay? I'll upload them to Blackboard, and then you'll do a presentation over those 2 articles on your day, and then you will ask questions of the group. So we'll do them all on Blackboard, on Zoom, and I'll show you how to share your screen so you can do a PowerPoint presentation about the articles and ask questions and everything, okay? And you guys will see how this all works by the time we get to the end here, okay? And you guys will each do it twice. If you notice, you guys, it worked out perfectly. You guys all get to do it twice throughout the semester. If you have a major problem with that date that I've assigned you, like you're going to be gone or there's some major issue, try to switch with somebody else in the class first. If not, I can rearrange it. So you guys know way ahead of time when you guys have to do it, okay? And then your reviews of the article are due 1 week after your assigned date. So the week before you do the articles, you give me the 2 articles, you do the review in front of everybody, and then 1 week later your review is due. And the reason I want it that way is that when you guys do the review in front of everybody, there may be things that come up that you hadn't thought of, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, that's a really good point, I hadn't thought about that. Then you can add that information in to your review, okay? So you can get the whole assignment, okay? And so you have to do that twice, and you can participate, basically read the article, and be ready to ask questions about them. The prologue, I already talked about them. So TCE becomes a really important thing, like Camp Lejeune. We will probably read an article on Camp Lejeune if you guys, especially if you guys want to do anything on military bases. If anybody's interested in that, look up Camp Lejeune and TCE and some horror stories there. We could watch a whole documentaries on that too, and about the Marines who have been impacted by TCE and their drinking water way beyond should have been, because military has totally different regulations than the rest of the country, and we can spend time talking about how the military is the worst polluters in the United States and have some of the most polluted sites in the country. So you guys will read a prologue to it. If you would like, please tell me your name and your preferred gender affiliation. If you have a nickname you want, I'm assuming you go by Tony, not by, I go by Mel, I'm she. But if you guys have any issues with this, please send me how you'd like that. Deadline, homework will be submitted on the due date. It's usually by midnight of that day. if I mess up and I put the deadline is like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, you just remind me. It's always midnight. It's always midnight the day it's due. Okay. But sometimes I mess up when I do Blackboard, so just so you know. And if there's anything, like I said, just use my cell phone number, text me, send me a message. I fix things all the time. I know I'm not perfect. I know I'm not. Late assignments. I don't like late assignments because I just want to grade all of your things at the same time. Don't plagiarize. You guys should know how to do that, especially when it comes to Silent Spring. There is so much out there, essay-wise, everything. I will run it through SafeAssign for plagiarism issues, especially with those 2 books that's been out there for so long that, yeah, there's not much you can do. The book that I'm not doing for this class, but I'm going to do for 301, is The War on the EPA. If you want to read that one, it's really good. But that one's written by Bill Alley. He's the science advisor for National Groundwater Association. Him and his wife used to work for the EPA. And they wrote a book that just came out this year called The War on the EPA and the War on Science. And it goes through everything of why the EPA, and it's relatively inexpensive. Next semester, and I'll let you guys all know when he's going to do this, I already talked to Bill. He's going to give a talk for my 301 class next semester. So they're going to read the book, and then he's going to come and do an online lecture for them. So I'll let you guys all know when he's doing it, but if you want to read a good book and really get more in depth about like the history of the EPA and everything, really good book. I mean, I'm sitting there all summer, I've been reading it, and it's just like, oh my God, I love this. Okay, so great book. I'm not having you guys read it for this class. I guess I could, but I decided 2 books was enough, and I want to go more into some of the other issues with it. Okay, sorry. Final exam will be online. It'll be however I feel like writing it. I don't know what I'm going to write. So I give you every possibility that I may do on here, and we'll figure it out by the end of the semester. Attendance is not required except for Fridays. Okay? You guys are grad students, so your attendance is expected. On Friday, if you have a problem logging in, you guys have my cell phone number now. Send me a message. If you guys are having, like last night or yesterday, I had massive migraines, and Alyssa knows this. I have monthly migraines, and there will probably be a day where I cancel class, and it may happen on a Friday because I have migraines. Every 3 to 4 weeks, I get a massive migraine day, so I will cancel class for that because I can't function. So, but if you have a problem like that or something, just give me a holler. And even when the attendance is there, you can turn off your camera and just kind of hang out there if you're having like a really bad day. And then you can still ask questions and stuff, but I expect you guys to be there. Disability, if you have a disability, please go to the DRC, the Disability Resource Center, and then hand me a letter from them. And then academic honesty, you guys all know that. Okay. Is there any questions about the syllabus? Everything will be on Blackboard, so like I said, information, I already started. There's the syllabus. Oh, content. Content, I already started one with videos, so if you guys click on the videos one here, here's the, it's a documentary called The Devil We Know. You guys can watch it with your friends. It's also on Netflix, so if you don't want to watch the YouTube version of it, it's on Netflix. I mean, really, honestly, read the War on the EPA and watch The Devil We Know, and you'll know why I love this topic. Okay, those are my favorite things in the world. Megan and I, we watched it together. Well, she was at her house, I was at my house, and then we tweeted, like we were sitting there texting between us, oh my God, I can't believe you just said that. And so we sat there and like messaged the entire time during the movie, and then afterwards we spent a good hour talking about it. It's that good. Okay, so in there, assessments, we call them assessments and assignments, but that's fine. I may change the name to assignments. I'll put assignments up on here. Cultura Media Gallery, this is where the lectures will be, and I will also give you the YouTube version. I don't know about you guys, but I think YouTube is a little bit better way of doing it than through Blackboard. And then you can just subscribe to my YouTube channel and you'll know when they're up there. And then you can be like, oh, I'll just watch them from any mobile device that you'd like. And it's just so much easier. Okay, other questions?
So for journal article clarity, it's 2 per Friday, and the person in charge is in charge of picking those 2?
Yes. Yeah, so the person whose week that is, the week before your name shows up, you have to give me 2 journal articles. Okay, and then you will be leading the discussion on those 2 articles. So if you have a thesis topic, pick something in your thesis. If not, you can pick something on a current article. As long as it's within the contamination, fate and transport stuff. Okay. Other questions? I'm going to stop my recording now.